Hi everyone, and welcome back to another how-to video. So today is another special one. We've got the brother-in-law coming over, and he did request a while ago. He wanted to know how to make a easy chocolate fudge cake. So that's what we're going to do. So start with 250 grams of butter. Now you can use any butter you like. Just make sure you've softened it or melted it a little bit. Not runny, but just make sure that it's able to be mixed. Right, that's in like that. Then we want 250 grams of sugar. Now you want to cream them together for a couple of minutes. Right. Once the butter and sugar are creamed together for a few minutes, then you want to add 3 eggs. So keep it on a nice medium speed. So 1, 2, 3. And you want to let them mix together until the egg has mixed in with the rest of the mix. That shouldn't take too long, so then once that's done you want to then add your next ingredients. So I've got 250 grams of self-raising flour and 50 grams of cocoa powder. Just slide that down. And just pour all that in. And then back to the mixing. Start it off very slow, because if you put it on too fast it will just throw cocoa powder and flour everywhere, and no one wants that. Right, once that's all mixed in nicely, now I'm just going to add a few funky ingredients just to make it that special. So first I'm going to add some dairy milk chocolate. Now it's about 10 squares, so that just goes in like that. Now if you are going to melt some chocolate, do be careful. Purely because depending on which way you do it, I find just for quick and ease, just do it in the microwave, but just give it 20 to 30 second bursts, and just make sure, because you can burn chocolate, and if it starts to melt and then all of a sudden it starts going hard again, you know you burnt it and you're going to have to start again. Or the safe but longer way is to put it on a bain-marie, which is pan of boiling water, glass dish, and just put the chocolate in and melt it that way, whatever's easier. But yeah, anyway, so that's the chocolate in, and then I'm going to put in a little bit of golden syrup just to give it a nice sort of gooey, chocolatey flavour. Right, now that's mixed together nicely. What you want to do is get all of this cake mix together. So you want to scrape off any that's on your mixer. Again, as I've said in previous videos, if you have to do this by hand, it's still nice and simple. I'm just using this because I have one and I can. So there we go. So that's all of there, and then just scrape around the edges of the bowl, and just make sure that all the mix is together, because you don't want to leave any bits of butter, flour, or any sugar or chocolate that may have got stuck to the edges. So then next job is pour it into your cake tin. Now you can have whatever cake tin you want, or if you wanted to do muffins, you could turn these into chocolate muffins just as easy. It's the same mix, so you don't have to worry about that. So, and again, if you wanted to do like a double layer, you can either do a nice big tin and cut it in half once it's cool, or you could put it into 2 separate similar sized tins, and then you can stick both halves together with some buttercream, which I'm going to show you how to do after this. So yeah, so that's all done nicely. Excellent. So now that's all in the tin nicely, we can get that in a preheated oven. Now I've got the electric oven set at about sort of 140 to 150, but sort of 170 to 180 gas oven is completely fine. Now, depending on the size, if you're doing sort of muffins, anywhere from sort of 25, say half an hour. If you're doing the cakes, 2 separate cakes, probably the same. Because I'm doing quite a large cake, I'm probably going to need anywhere from sort of like 40 to maybe sort of 50 minutes on a nice low heat, just so that it rises nicely and cooks in the centre. So yeah, we'll get that in the oven and we'll come back to it once it's cooked. Right, so while the cake's ticking over in the oven, we can move on to the buttercream. So for this, you need 250 grams of butter. Now, this you do need like what I class as the block butter, so something like Anchor, purely because if you use some kind of spread, it does mess around and it doesn't get the same consistency. Then you want 500 grams of icing sugar, and because we're doing chocolate, I've added 50 grams of cocoa powder. Like that. And once again, mix it nice and slowly because the icing sugar will go in. Right, once it's mixed together nicely and it's gone almost like a sort of paste, then you can turn the mixer off for a sec, put in just a splash of vanilla, and then the dairy milk chocolate. Now, like I said, it's about 100 grams. If you do decide to put melted chocolate in, please make sure that it's come down to more like a room temperature after you've melted it, purely because if you put it in, it will just split the whole ingredients, so, and you'll ruin the buttercream. So we'll just gently put that in, and then we can mix that all together for a couple of minutes. Get all that in. And that's pretty much it. So once this is finished mixing, it's ready to go. So you can either, if you've already got your cake ready to go, you can buttercream it straight away. If not, just put it to one side. Keep it room temperature, make it easier to spread, or if you're using some kind of like piping bag and nozzle, it'll be easier to sort of pipe out. But that's it. So yeah, we'll leave that for now. Right. That's one side. So the cake's been out of the oven about sort of 40 minutes now, so it's nice and cool. So just cut it in half, and now I can buttercream it. So we take our buttercream from earlier, and literally just slap some in the middle. Now, get a nice even spread. Again, you don't have to put this in the middle. If you want to save it all for the edge, that's fine. But if you want to put some in the middle, or you can put something else in the middle, put some cream, put any kind of flavourings in there. I mean, if you're doing chocolate cake, Nutella works quite nicely, or some kind of chocolate spread, if you wanted to change it up a bit, or even something like peanut butter, if you like that. Right, so let's just scrape all this around, and then get that nice and even. Then once that's all spread in evenly, just pop the top on, and then we can move on to decorating the outside. Right, so this is now the top, and yeah, this is pretty much done. So if you spread on the top, just make sure that you get it all round the top, and make sure that you scrape around the sides if you want as well, so it covers the entire cake in buttercream, and that's it, pretty much done. You can throw some funky sprinkles or some grated chocolate on top to finish it off, but yeah, that is pretty much it. That is your nice and simple chocolate fudge cake. Hope you like it, Simon. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Laters.